Anyway. Yeah. So I have a child at home.
Yeah.
With a nanny. I think my son was in like class 1 or 2.
Yeah.
He's trying to understand why the parents are split.
Yeah.
Because now, and they were very close. I've moved him from a private school to a government school. He was being bullied.
Yeah.
One day he just came home with a very big scar.
Yeah.
And I asked him, what happened?
Hey everybody, welcome to Being Kambua. I am so happy and so honored that you're here, that you've taken the time off of everything that you're doing to just sit with us. This is one of those shows that I encourage you to actually sit down, put away the distractions, and don't be listening to it passively, but actually being very present with us, because there's so much to learn, so much to glean from the people who come over on this podcast, and just a lot of women, mostly because I created this space as a safe space for women, but also we pull in the men from time to time, but just people who have allowed themselves to be vulnerable. They've let us into their lives to share some of the hurdles and challenges that we experience on our journey to motherhood. A lot of things that are unforeseen, but you know, when it comes, what do you do with it? And I'm so grateful for all the feedback that we keep getting of what the show is doing for you, that it's helping you have difficult conversations in your community, that it's helping you feel less alone. If it makes you feel that way, then we have definitely achieved why we're doing Being Kambua. Today, I am joined by an amazing, amazing woman. She is absolutely intelligent. She's been in one of those schools, wale utuhangaisha kwa KOX. Dr. Sylvia Watu Alliance. You guys decided we will not breathe.
No, actually, we don't. It's people who decided to just make an issue out of it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's your story and you're sticking to it.
I'm sticking to that one.
I love it. You are so stunning. Look at you,
Thank
beauty
you.
queen.
Thank you very much.
And I was reading what's it called, a sash?
A sash, yes.
Yes, it says second runners-up of Mrs. Universal Empire 2023. I say, you guys, this is a beauty queen. Mpaka was like, let me arrange my legs nicely today.
No, there was no need for pressure. Just be you.
You brought pressure to my couch.
My apologies.
I am so honored to have you here, and I know you have such a back-to-back schedule, but you being able to say yes to me is such an honor. Thank you.
Thank you for
you know, people slide into my DM sometimes, like, I have a story I'd like to share. I slid into your DM.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, eh? So I went and checked out, it's not those, pretenders.
It's not a scam.
So I was like, oh, actually it's her. I was like, okay, let's do this.
Yes.
So it was an honor to.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I brought you on board because I caught a little bit of your story. It piqued my interest because when I started Being Kambua, obviously started it off of my own journey and just what it has taught me and what I'm learning from other moms who have taken a different path, but they have experienced their own share of challenges. They look different, but at the end of the day, we are mothers doing the best that we can with what we have.
With no manual.
With no manual. So, where did this alliance graduate, Dr. Sylvia? Where did this, amazing, intelligent woman begin her journey into motherhood, or when did this journey begin?
When this journey began was 2006. I'm a mother of 3.
Yes.
My eldest turns 18 in a few months.
18?
Yes.
Umeficha miaka wapi? Kwa magoti?
My second born is 13, going 14 in like 5 months now. My last born just turned 12 1 week ago.
Wow.
So yes.
So you will, he's a preteen. You pretty much have.
All of them are my friends. Yeah. I am dealing. Let's just say it is a new phase. Yeah. God's grace is just keeping us alive right now. Wait.
Yeah. I've been told when you get out of because I'm in the infant toddler stage. Yeah. I am told to enjoy. This is honeymoon. I'm like, what are you talking about? God. It's so intense. But I've been told the preteen and teen years are also something to brace myself for.
And mine is quite complicated at that. But at least I thank God as much as it's teen.
Yes.
I think the challenges that and the curveballs life threw at me in the space of marriage and the entire journey. Of course, it was not the roses that I dreamt of, but we're here, we're not dead, right?
Yes.
So my son turned out pretty good because he had to grow up very, very fast. So he's a bit more understanding the drama that people have. Oh, they're sneaking, they're doing what, they're engaging with who. My son is always at home until I'm like, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're a teenager?
Yeah.
But I thank God for that because life has taught him to just be more understanding and be more supportive. And I don't even know where to start. I'll just go with your flow because if I start talking, I might throw you at the end.
No, we will go how we go. So I'm guessing you had your son when you were pretty young because I'm Sylvia.
Not really, my friend.
Surprised me.
I surprise you.
Yes.
Okay, depends on the definition of pretty young.
Yes.
Of course, I was of age.
Yes.
I was 22.
Okay.
This is not pretty young. I started my life early.
Yeah.
Because I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I am one of those alliance girls that did not follow the Joneses of what alliance is about.
The conventional route.
Exactly, which of course caused me a big fallout with my family.
Okay.
My father did not want to hear, you have to be a doctor. I'm not going to be a doctor.
Yes.
I'm actually a graphic designer and a brand consultant.
Uh-huh.
So I had to go do the papers for him, like here is your papers, and then I continued and it was like I'm not funding it, so I was working in the EPZ. I was hawking in the streets to raise fees. Then I got a scholarship within the first 3 months of my course.
Wow.
And I of course had to start working part-time like after a year or so. My mom contributed to at least my initial fee. And then in college I met what I thought was Mr. Right.
Yes.
And and history had it that way. So it just lasted like 6 years.
Okay.
And in those 6 years, I had my three boys.
That's a good chunk of your year,
yes,
of your life.
It is. It is. You know, these are things that you never get back.
Yeah.
So it was those things that when you catch up, you know, at 22, you're just optimistic. Then you grow up, you know, and when you grow up, you realize that your wants are not like you're not aligning. And the things like one thing I've realized the most is you can never change a man as much as you want to.
Yeah.
And what you see, you know, sometimes we see potential as women and we think I can push him to get to where I see him going.
Yes.
But if he does not want to, you're just wasting your time. And I'm just trying not to overlap.
It's
so
okay,
can I just flow with it however comes?
So you met this guy, you've started a family, you're having your children, you've had your 3 boys, and now where I want us to go to or rather the reason why I reached out to you is I was like, okay, she's championing autism and special needs. My first question was why? Then I listened to your story a little bit and I realized that you actually have one or two of your children are in the spectrum. Tell me, let's start with the first child, the one you found was in the spectrum. How did that happen? Or at what point did you discover? Did you maybe think something could be a little different? Walk us through that.
So my first one is a typical child, actually. He's more of like a genius because he could name all dinosaurs by their scientific names. Anything he puts interest, puzzles, etc. He was super in that. Yeah. Then my second baby came. The first pregnancy was okay. The second pregnancy, some few days before, but I was under a lot of work pressure.
Okay.
I was working on a very tight project and I was the lead. So the minute I handed it in, I just stood from my chair and saw a patch. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So
Yes.
I pulled my boss lady and I'm like, okay, I've seen this. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
She's like, I think you need to go to the hospital. This is like 8 p.m.
Wait, was it blood?
No,
Or
it was what? My water.
Your
my
water broke.
Yes, not broke, but it drained.
Yes.
You know, even my firstborn, I didn't experience that water breaking story.
Ah.
So I had not had that. Like, I just hear and I'd see it on TV.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what is this? This was a surprise.
Yeah.
So then I rang up my gyna. It's like, yeah, go to the hospital. They need to do a scan. So when I got there, my waters had drained.
Yeah.
But then I was not to term yet. So I had to, they had to wait like 3 days, no changes in the water levels. Then
Yes.
they're like, we need to now deliver this child.
Yes.
They induced me, nothing. Induced me again, nothing. The third induction, my labor was coming in reverse. Like it was intense, then it disappears.
Oh my gosh.
So we're like, okay, I've been in hospital almost a week by now.
Yeah.
And the pains were it was just like, I'm feeling labor, but they're like, it's not, you're not dilated. So we had to make the call for a CS.
Okay.
And I went in, it was like in the evening.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, it was at like 6 p.m. Of course, there is all that sign this, sign. You've never had a CS, you have no idea. So I was feeling like, am I signing off my life?
Yes.
Because there's no time for reading
Everything
all of
is
this.
happening so
And you're just
fast.
a young couple at that time. So you're thinking the cost of CS, holy crap, you know? But thank God I had taken a cover.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, at least we got this part of it. I was sedated. They did not allow my husband to come in.
Okay.
My then husband to come in.
Yes.
So I woke up and I'm like, I want to see my baby because I had a phobia. I'm just sorry for it, but I was like, God, I just want a perfect child. Whatever all this has been, I just want.
Yes.
So I saw my baby and I'm like, oh, he's okay.
Yeah.
They told me it's okay. I was brought for a photo. I'm like, why can't I see my child? They told me, okay, he's in HDU.
Okay.
I'm like, what happened? Oh, when he came out, he started turning. He was having issues breathing. And they thought he had some jaundice, so they put him there. I'm like, okay, then let me go see him.
Okay.
I tried to stand up. My whole world turned.
You just had a major surgery.
I didn't. You know, your head is not there. Like you forget.
Yeah.
Because I was out for a while. This was at like 12. I remember my dad had come to see me. So I was like, I have to see him. I have no idea why I was feeling. You know, there is that maternal instinct.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I couldn't go. Because now, or he couldn't come, so I wanted to go. Then now I don't even know what I reacted to.
Yeah.
So of course I was sedated again.
Yeah.
Then now, when I asked for him to be brought to me, they said he started turning blue the minute they removed him, so they had to put him back.
Yeah.
So anyway, after a few days, I was able to go there. I was wheeled there. I saw him. The first days were fine, but he had very high reflux.
Okay.
He was like just okay. It was scary. They were tiny.
Yeah.
You know, when they're so tiny like that. Because my firstborn was like 3 kilos plus, and then this girl is like 2 something. I'm like, oh my God, are you sure we didn't make a mistake?
How many weeks was he when he was born? Were you rather?
30. It was just, we just got into 36. Like at 36, they were just wanted us to cross the mark.
Yes.
So that whole week was on like 38, 35, whatever they are. So the first few days were not easy because his few months, he was just always issues the stomach. I was forever in the doctors and I was not knowing what is going on until month 3. This day I'm just chilling and a boy starts convulsing.
Oh dear.
And I'm like, what is going on? I've never seen this. You know, for you, I'm running, I'm picking him. I'm trying, do I call? Who do I call? Where do I start?
Yeah.
It's not stopping. God. And it's a pain you cannot even define. It's been 13 years. Every time it happens, it feels like day one. There is nothing you can do about it. Practically nothing. Yeah. So I've learned over time. So I just called the doctor and he's like, because before that, I had told the gastro, because we were having more of stomach issues, and these are some of the signs and symptoms, but I didn't know at that time. The jaundice, the gastro issues, reflux, those are red flags that a newborn parent should be able to just like put a closer eye on a child, because he was just even all these first 3 months I noticed he was shaking and I'm like, you're covered, why are you shaking? When I asked the doctor said it could just be a behavior, he will stop. Until now the full thing came. So of course that means going to the doctors, then referrals. We did a CT scan. So apparently there was a sclerosis. I was hearing big words. My friend.
There was a what? Slow down. There was a what?
There was a sclerosis in his head. A wound.
A wound in
So
his
that's
head.
exactly how I reacted. Worse though.
Yeah.
And so after this, I'm like, just break it down slowly. So they're like, this is what, I'm like, how the hell does a human being that's just been born have a wound in his head? How did it get there? Was it the delivery process? No one gives you these answers. And that's one thing that is, I wish our medics would just look into, because it's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair how you break it down.
Yeah.
It's not fair how you don't give information.
Yes.
So you just go home with this 20,000 questions in your head. Anyway, so it was like back to the neurologist, because then like we have to put him on medication. He has to continue. I was told by 5 years he should be okay. So at least I had a milestone to look forward to.
Yes.
By this time it was like 6 months by the time we got through the process, and he was not achieving any milestones.
Okay.
My dad had even noticed that his head is not the way it's supposed to be. I was forever in hospital. How do I even start noticing? That's why we need that family around you.
And a different eye.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was like, what are you talking about? He's fine. And sometimes when I look back at the photos, I'm like, actually his neck was not like, there's a photo I've held him and his neck is back. But I hadn't noticed at that time.
Yeah.
So after the seizures was, okay, the other milestones are not coming. So every time a seizure would come, he would forget everything. Like he had started walking, it went. He had started just cooing,
Yes.
all that went. So
Yeah.
it was not making sense to me. One day the doctor just tells me, I need you to go for assessment.
Okay.
I'm like, assessment is like, yeah, just look for this person. I am suspecting he could be autistic. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
Yes.
I'm just recovering from these epileptic things, which is like, it's not epilepsy, it's just a disorder. Let's give it until 5 years.
You'll outgrow it.
Spanner to the works. When we are 6 months, actually it was the same day I was receiving this news, I'm told you're pregnant. And I'm
dear.
like, you gotta be kidding me.
Like, am I happy? Is this congratulations?
No, I was not happy at all. Let me not even lie to you.
God.
Because you see now, you've just been told this child has special needs.
Yes.
And you're telling me I'm pregnant.
Yes.
And now I have to stop breastfeeding.
Oh,
I have to,
my
there was so many
goodness.
things it came with that I was not mentally ready
Prepared
for.
yeah.
And just something I didn't mention, like before my second child, I'd lost a child in between.
I'm sorry.
And there was a lot of pressure, and I'd gotten into depression, I'd attempted suicide. So I'm just like, this is not happening to me.
Yeah.
I want this child, but I don't want this child now.
No. Yeah.
So of course we always run to our girls. One of them like, get rid of it. I'm like, but I'm married. There's no big deal. But I'm not ready. So my mom is like, if you know our cultural ways where girls are not babies, ass kisses.
Yes.
Mtoto mwanaume ndio mtoto.
Wewe sio mtoto, mwanamke anaweza, whatever comes. Yeah.
Thank you. So my mom was just like, you know what? You just carry it, give birth, give me. Because I was, in all honesty, I was contemplating. And I know when my child grows up, maybe if he hears this, he might get hurt. And I can put this in record. I apologize. But I'm just being honest that it is what I felt at the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I am glad I didn't do it, because he's just turned out to be this magical person who loves me beyond, And that pregnancy from there henceforth was not easy, because now with special needs comes a lot of financial challenges, a lot of strain in the marriage.
Yes.
And slowly my marriage is falling apart.
Yeah.
And I carried on. I was just like, you know what, God, you know why you're doing this. I will carry this child.
Yes.
Let's just see how it goes. So by month 7, I start getting pains that are from hell.
So before we get even to month 7, did you do the assessment at that point?
I know. These things are not easy. You just can't. And then you're asking me in 2010 to choke 6,000. I'm paying for meds every day. You're telling me to go for assessment at 15 grand. It was 15,000 at that time. It was more than my rent.
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
At that time, it was even more than my rent. I'm already straining. We are already estranged in this marriage. And I'm just like, okay, you shelve it. Let's continue with the medicine and just keep watching.
Yes.
Then, I'm having seizures, but I'm embracing it, quote unquote, but then they became controlled. But this child is just not talking. This child is not walking. My son, after one of the seizures, he had started like walking from here to there. That was the end of him walking. So this other one is on the way now. I'm trying to balance. I had to quit my job.
Yes.
So I was starting a business. I'm a graphic designer. I was just like, you know what, actually, I'm good at this. People follow me wherever I go as clients, so it must be about me. That was the confidence I needed.
Yes, to step out.
The things you have to tell yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I picked myself up. I said, I'm quitting. And my ex was like, how? I am jobless. I'm like, no, all honesty, as a woman, when you're being there, sometimes it becomes too much. And I think for me, dealing with all of this and then being the provider became a bit too much. So I was just like, you got to figure it out this time.
Yes.
But I'm done. I'm done. So, of course, we're already strained. This is not going to make it any easier. By the time my baby came, by the time I was saying 7 months, I was getting pains I didn't know. Any doctor, no one. My gyna was like, I can't give you any more medication because I have no idea what is going on. To a point, by 8 months, I was admitted. And he was like, we're giving it 1 week. I observe you here in hospital. If it doesn't go away, we have to get the baby out. Same story. But at least now, I had mentally prepared. I had to get into marriage, but yes, let's just say nilijipanga as a woman. I was ready for any eventualities. Trust you me, the second child was enough of a lesson. Yes. So I'm like, okay, doctor, let's do this. We set the date, I go. And I said this time round, no, I'm seeing my baby. Immediately he comes out. These stories I was given, I don't want. We're doing half, At least when the child came out, I was like, oh, it's a boy.
But the first time they did full. You
have full, I was fully out. So that's why I have no idea. Because even when the doctor was saying we need to see his, it's called an appendicitis or something like that.
Yes.
I went back. You know what the hospital told me? We have your file, but we don't have your baby's file.
How?
So I'm like, what the hell are you talking? But that time I don't even have energy to start chasing anyone. I'm just being thrown at, jobs for different things. I was just like, what, you guys find it and give me. So I didn't have answers. So I went back. The good thing is I'm a holder. So I have all my baby breaks. Exactly. I have all of them. So I went and I looked and then I took it. Of course, they hadn't recorded something, but then at least we knew there's something that we knew anyway. So Brad comes. My baby is actually DAB. So A and B are the ones who are autistic. So baby B arrives and that day I was just like, oh my God, it's a boy. Then I started feeling this immense pain. So they had to knock me out again. When I got out, he was in HDU.
Oh dear.
You're like,
again.
All right. This time my head was like financials. So I was working. I started working to distract myself. I was able to see him, breastfeed him. But he was tinier, he was smaller. He was, but in my head, I'm just thinking every day in that, and they call NICU, it goes, gee, how much? I exhausted my cover. And that was the point I was like, I'm going home. If he's out of danger, I'm going home. But know what was happening with the pain? My womb was opening up.
Oh my God.
That is why I was in pain. Because the babies are too close. So for women, when you're giving birth CS, you can't do back to back when you have a CS. So it's something that I didn't know before. And it was even good because the doctor had gone to the US that 1 week I was at home before we did the extraction. And he said that's where he learned about that. That's why he insisted we have to get the baby out. And he found like it was just a small. So both of us by like 48 hours max, we'd have died.
Oh my God.
So that made me even appreciate this child more. Like, you could have killed me as much. but then we're both here. So I was lucky, of course, sealed up, went. Then Brad actually was typically okay. But of course, I left my marriage when my son, I left there, I had to go back. What they found out, it was an appendicitis plus that, because even the pain just transferred. So they had to remove it. So it's 1 week after CS, I'm in theater again. I'm opened up again for appendicectomy. Then I come home, my house is in array. I was just like, I can't do this no more. I can't even give you details. It's another story for another day.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
So I was hopeless for like a while. I just left my things under stairs at a place. I was like, if someone moves out, you let me know.
Oh dear.
I carried, so you can imagine I'm moving out with appendicectomy is 1, 2, 3 plus CS.
Yes.
And I'm carrying a child. I'm also not supposed to lift anything. My child is 18 months old, so ako mgongoni.
Oh my God.
My other boy, I think, was like 4 at the time.
Yeah.
I had lost I give birth, I'd lose weight instant. I was 47 kilos. So I was looking like I've borrowed.
Children.
There's a day I went to town, someone asked me like, Mama yenu ako wapi?" I'm like, my friend.
I am the mother.
I did not answer. I did not have energy to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after this breakup, I'm like, you know what? One of this has to work out. My pal hosted me for a few days. I put my ish together.
Yes.
Of course, I went back. I've never known maternity leave. I think it's only the first child that I was able to get a feel of what that is.
Yeah.
Then Andrew's seizures are still ongoing. Brad was fine.
Yeah.
Getting a nanny, because this boy has to take medicine every day.
Yes.
Seizures come, they get scared, they can't deal with it.
Yeah.
It's traumatic.
Yeah.
And then it depends on the type of seizure. So if I was to just describe for you what a seizure is, it's like someone being electrocuted, at least that most of us have seen.
Yes.
And the other thing is like your child sounds like he's choking.
Yeah.
He's having, not all of them have foam. For him, it's never been foam. It's just saliva sometimes. But his hands are like stiff. His feet can turn whichever direction.
Oh my gosh.
Then his eyes roll back. And then when he's about to be over, you'll just hear, knockout. So my child would knock out for like 3 hours. Are you alive? So I was like, Doc, you said 5 years, man. I can't.
Yeah.
Meds. Then there is this time I had a nanny who was not giving the meds, but I'm trying to provide. Remember, now I'm a single mother. I got all the bills, zero support.
Yes.
Co-parenting is not working.
Yes.
And whenever I go by, we had said, you do this. I go by, I say, like, I need that money back. It was not coming.
Yeah.
Then I'm so engulfed in trying to be everything.
Yeah.
I did not notice my lastborn was not getting his milestones.
Oh dear.
So I saved up. I did a big project. I sacrificed the one I was in hospital working.
Yes.
I had to get it done because it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Then of course, from there, I was like, let me do this assessment. I get there, assessment is done. And the guy breaks the news like, yeah, your child is autistic. You have to do this. And what people forget is the minute you drop something that nobody understands, I switched off.
Yeah.
Like for 10 minutes.
Like white noise.
Thank you. And you're expecting me to have taken in I'm like, I'm sorry, but I had 0. You said, now you have to start again. But anyway, I was told, nutrition, all this. And remember, I'm just like, how am I going to handle all of this? You're talking about special food. I'm living on 1 meal a day at this point. It was, they eat breakfast. I'll eat only dinner.
Yeah.
I would leave home. I'd leave home at 10 because fare is 20 bob or 10. I'd come back at 10 p.m. because fare is down again. I couldn't hack any peak period. You leave home, you're on water. I was running around like crazy because now I'm working I quit my job. Yeah. So I'm starting a business that's not able to sustain everything. Yeah. I had eviction notices. I don't even know how I'm alive sometimes.
Yeah. It's a lot.
But one thing I had sworn is, because the day I left, auctioneer had come home, and I'm there with my wounds, with a 3-week-old child.
Yes.
My son is the one who ran to bedroom. My mommy said, Mommy, they're taking our things. Oh. I'm like, what are you talking about? We didn't have water. We didn't have power. And that's the day I decided I'm walking out. I'm like, these guys leave and I leave because I'm tired of talking and all that.
Yes.
So I was like, this is not going to happen again. So I sacrificed, I had to make those sacrifices of 1 meal a day so long as they buy. Because at this time, of course, I don't have milk.
Yeah,
I'm on none.
Yeah,
this
so
child
stressed.
was already been given when they're new,
Yeah.
When they're preterm,
Yeah.
they advise you to give the the expensive one.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, when you get to the shelf and you're just like,
Yes, even the regular one is expensive.
Exactly.
Now when you go to the special
and then now
one.
you're thinking diapers. For this one I had to go. Diapers was when we are going out. So long as we are home, you will stay like that or you're napping.
Yes.
So this nanny was not giving my son meds. So one day I'm just like, why? I'm like, hey, these meds have stayed. So what I just said, I will behave like I have left home.
Okay.
I didn't. I come back. Do you know what was going on? My son was in mdogo kabisa. Bradley was in a basin. Andrew was there on the floor.
Yeah.
She's out in the balcony taking in the sun. I've ever walked, and then you're like, okay, I'm not seeing this. Because all this while I was telling myself, Brad is not talking because Andrew is not talking. You get any reason to
explain the situation.
So I was like, okay, of course that's the end of it. Like, let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
It's not easy to find another one, but then at that time I could only take who I can afford.
Yes.
At the point. So I brought in another one. It wasn't so bad. Now I have the diagnosis. I was going now to public hospitals and the service is crap. And you're being told to go for therapy. I asked for the price of therapy and I'm like, at first, when you talk about therapy, I know AA therapy. Miss, do you any other therapy?
What exactly are you talking about? Yeah.
So they're like, there's occupational therapy. We need speech therapy.
Gosh.
See, yes. I'm just like, what is all this thing? Like, God, why? So one day I bumped into someone. He's like, can I offer you? I'll give you half price, but I need to assess both your children.
Okay.
Like, why? It's like, just give me the opportunity to. I was staying in Kino then.
Yes.
So I go. He was not so far. So when I arrived, they were like, okay, at least this one is obvious for Andrew.
Yes.
So because I wanted to go to school, I needed just feedback. I was just waiting for these 5 years to be told it's over.
Yes.
Like, this nightmare will end.
Yeah.
But we went and at the end of it, I'm told, you know what? Come again tomorrow.
Okay.
Why do I have to come back again tomorrow? I'm like, it's okay, we'll not charge you. Because you see, like right now, every cent.
You don't want to hear another bill?
I don't want to hear any other bill, Because I was already struggling with the medicine and you can't do without the meds. There's a day we didn't take meds, we were in ICU.
Oh my gosh.
So day 2 I go, then now they're like, sadly, we just want, because I was told not to take Bradley alone.
Yes.
So they confirmed Bradley is autistic.
Yeah.
But the one thing as parents that we deal with is one thing called denial. And our denial and procrastination affects our children. Now I am wiser, I know.
Yeah.
Because it took me 9 years to practically accept Bradley is also a special child. He was getting seizures also.
Yeah.
But he was getting febrile seizures.
Well, what does that mean?
That means if his temperature goes beyond 37,
he'll
get a conversion. So now it's any day you feel something like this, you just, intermediate. I think I had a pharmacy in the house. Yes, because you have to keep them away. Because the other thing is every seizure kills brain cells. And a seizure that goes beyond 5 minutes enters danger zone because oxygen is now not reaching the brain.
Yes.
And the more that happens, the more chances of losing a life.
Yeah.
So I've become a pro, by the way.
Wow.
So anyway, I can laugh now. Those days I used to be like I'm dead.
Yes.
I was just a walking frame of bones at that time because it was quite difficult.
Yeah.
I just told those guys, thank you for the information, but there's nothing much I can do about it. I can only handle one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I need to reclaim my life, And then I decided to focus on the business, get money, because all these things are asking for money.
Yeah.
Then I need to work this out. I joined the business network. I did like intense. I used to wake up at like 5:30 to be in the 6 a.m. meeting. But one day, it was the day we voted in Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah.
It was the one odd day of March. We used to vote in December, right?
Yes.
I'm just home. Andrew starts getting seizures. And I'm like, okay, wait it out. Minute 1, minute 2. I'm like, okay, shit, this thing is not ending. 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
I'm in a new building.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone. The parking lot is empty. I carried my child down the stairs. I was on 6th floor.
Yeah.
I got to the gate. I'm asking myself, where am I going?
Yeah.
I had to run back up. I put him down. The only person I knew was the person living across. And I didn't know them. It's because Bradley is the one who goes, like he crosses over into their house so often.
Yeah.
So I was like, please, you might know more people. There's only one car in this compound. I really need someone to take me to hospital.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, he knew the person. It was a pickup truck. So he was given the key, rushed to Aga Khan, back to ICU.
Yeah.
I'm asked for $500,000.
Ooh.
I'm like, mimi mwenye hata medical cover ndio I'm struggling. My dad had just put me under his cover. I'm like, where on earth am I supposed to get $500,000 for my son to be put in ICU? And here, it had not stopped.
Yeah.
So I started calling. I called my dad. My dad had gone to Kisii to vote. Everyone was in a voting line. I called my mentor. He's like, I'm where I'm also, there was, those are the days you realize you're in this life alone. I was like, God, I had just paid for my medical cover a week before.
Yes.
Like my dad is strict laws of you have to do these things in life. I've never been happy for listening to him like that. So I had just paid a small deposit for it. So I had forgotten about that. But the sad reality why I'm sharing this story, I called my in-laws.
Yeah.
To me, we can only pray for you. I'm like, say what? Okay.
Yeah.
I called my pal and she was like, I'll be the one to call him. You didn't give birth alone.
Yeah.
She called the nigga.
Yeah.
Dude says, I don't want to know anything about those people. Don't ever call me regarding. I was like, God hold me.
Yeah.
I told them, just try.
Yeah.
My dad sent me a number. He told me, just try, see if these guys will accept to take the cover as much as you haven't paid all of it.
Yeah.
But at least you had started the process.
Yes.
And thank God they accepted.
Yeah.
So when my dad came, I told my dad, from today, I'm a widow. From today, I am a widow. And he could not understand. I told him, this is what they said. The way people know how to cover up. They will love bomb you to forget whatever their other issues are. So no one would believe, even when I said I'm leaving, no one understood why. Everyone was like, there is no way.
Yeah.
I was just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, I dropped it and I was like, you know what? It's my life.
It doesn't make sense to anybody else, but
for me. Yeah. I'm at peace with it. Let me just know I'm in this shit alone. And it was easier. So I think that was one of the worst days in my life.
Yeah.
Watching my son in machines, knowing there is zero I can do. Like, he was just... Anyway.
Yeah.
So I have a child at home.
Yeah.
With a nanny. I think my son was in class 1 or 2.
Yeah.
He's trying to understand why the parents are split.
Yeah.
Because now, and they were very close. I've moved him from a private school to a government school. He was being bullied.
Yeah.
One day he just came home with a very big scar.
Yeah.
And I asked him, what happened? Because none of my children, I've not taught any of them violence, no fighting back. Be the gentleman in the situation.
Yeah.
When I went, they told me, children can pretend you don't know your child. I'm like, I know mine.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to balance this one, and the trauma of separation of my first child is going through. So his performance was crap.
Yeah.
And this was a boy who was number 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Now you're sending me reports for number 29 out of, Anyway, I decided, again, where do I throw myself?
Yeah.
Work. I worked, I moved him to a private school.
Okay.
It wasn't any better anyway. Andrew, I'm growing numb to all these things by now.
Yeah.
There is a time I think we were in hospital. I would enter, like if we walk to Aga Khan right now, everyone from the person at the gate, you know, the way you meet a doctor and they're like, who is it?
Yeah.
It's funny, but
yeah.
oh gosh, for us to get there is a month. And then I got the guts to decide I'm going to try and date again.
Okay.
But sometimes in life as women, we overlook things that are very important.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was like, it's okay, you can be a cheat, but at least someone loves me.
Oh, wow.
What you tell yourself. At least someone loves my children. Because the stigma that comes with it, oh, you have 3 boys.
Yes,
you're a single woman.
Yeah.
And then you have special needs.
Yeah.
You think any man will look at you. So, and then this person is like, I love you the way I love you. So you hold on to that thing no matter what shit is coming.
Gaslighting.
We forget ourselves and get swallowed in that. So this time, back to back, my dear, for 1 month, week 1 is this one, we come out, I pick the next one, I go inside. That's how that relationship went down the train. A bit later. But
and do you feel like when you, sorry to interject, but when you were dating, when you've had to date people, when you meet somebody, do you tell them as soon as you start getting to know somebody that I'm a mom?
No, it is a fear. You have to get to a certain level to have the guts to. At this, I was holding here because here I am safe. I feel accepted. I don't have to explain. I don't have to. So I was holding on, whatever, however disrespectful it was. I was still there, doing everything to make it work. But then we were in different paths in life at that time.
Right.
So it got to a point. I went and did a labastron. I don't know if you've ever heard about a labastron.
Yes. I remember.
It was like a reawakening of like, I've been taking so much shit in this life. I just had a lot of unforgiveness. And sometimes as women, we bottle things up that we don't know are actually affecting us in life.
Correct.
And that was like my key to the rest of my life, you know. Because from there, I was like, okay, this relationship, adios, I'm done. And it's okay, I don't need this. I forgive you. You live your life.
Yes.
And it unburdens you in a way when you do that. Because now it was about me, my kids, I accept I'm doing this and it is okay.
Yes.
For Brad, I was still in denial. I was just going, not that I don't know, it's packed at the back. But Andrew's journey has been so heavy.
Yes.
That sometimes I look at Brad and I was looking at some photos and I can't remember my child growing up at that point.
Because you were so consumed.
Because I was so consumed in taking care of Andrew, trying to handle, like I'm handling boys. This one is growing up so fast. He's sacrificing his life. It got to a point I had to take my firstborn to boarding.
Okay.
Because the school also was not being kind. Like one person was not being kind. But right now, he was in a very fragile place with the male species.
Yes.
So this one person was changing so much of how much work I had put in him.
Yeah.
So I decided boarding. Because the other thing, like I mentioned, he had to grow up. Because now these kids are, oh, brother, this one is this. I'm running to hospital, etc. So I would come, you've not done your homework. I'm like, but I was taking care of my brothers. You can't
He was trying to parent his brothers
so he was
as well.
parenting at the same time. It's like, that's not fair. So I put him in boarding.
Yeah.
Then there is a day I just opted to do natural intense.
Okay.
A friend told me. I did. Do you know, after a while, one day, a Saturday morning, my son, I heard that strange voice. At least he had said one word, like mom. It came at 5. My son called me mom at 5.
5 in the morning?
No, 5 years old.
At 5 years old?
I waited 5 years old. 5 years for Andrew to call me mom. So at least I had one word. It was the only word he was saying. Then this Saturday morning after, because we try everything that anyone tells you, like you'll try, just so that they can.
Yes.
So after this intense dietary intervention, one Saturday morning, I was so tired. And then I heard a voice and I'm like, what the hell is that in my house? And this early in the morning, it was my son singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars. I just touched it. I'm like, oh my God, you actually can't.
You're singing.
I'm like, sing again. And you know, when you traumatize them like that, then they retract into their shell. But Fuchs, I know his voice. I know he has a voice somewhere.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll never forget that day.
Mm-hmm.
But by this time, me and God were a no. You live your life, me, I live mine. So after abortion, at the time, I was just trying to build another relationship because I was just feeling like you cannot be this unfair. You say God is love, you say God is this.
Yes.
This is not loving.
It's hard.
Marriage broken.
Yeah.
I was still trying to mend my relationship with my family at home.
Yes.
You know, my children, double trouble.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like, it can't get worse.
Yeah.
But Brad now started getting unprovoked seizures.
Oh, dear.
Remember, those ones were febrile.
Yes.
Now, unprovoked seizures. 5 years passed. Andrew, of course, they didn't stop. I was holding on to it. I dropped that dream.
Yeah.
But what unprovoked seizure means, that means epilepsy or convulsive disorder. So we went with convulsive disorder.
Yes.
My wake-up call actually happened when he was in school. They were being awarded. Like, it was a sports day. He was doing well. He was running. The minute he saw me, he's like, Mom, I'm doing it. I'm like, my friend, you're supposed to be.
Keep going.
Keep going. So that story ended there. I'm like, look, and I was not understand. You know, this child you just cannot understand. He was very loud, very loving. Everyone is my friend.
Yes.
He will say hi. Even now, when we walk on the street, it's hi. And it breaks my heart that as humans, we have lost that. I don't know what name to even call it. Like a child says hi to you, you're looking at them like they did something weird.
Yeah, how you ignore them.
So we take the pain, like I said. It's like, I'll take that one for you, son. So I will answer. If people ignore, I usually do the answering. It's like, baby, he's fine. Don't worry. He didn't hear you. And just cover up the pain. Because I don't want him to also stop being himself because of what the society is bringing out.
Yeah.
So that day I went and nikajita mkutano. Because when they were lined up being given trophies, it was like this, sweet. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
My child was kept in the same class for 3 years. I didn't even realize. I was just okay.
Yeah, that
he has a place to go. I was okay. There was at least, even they used to call him Bradley or Teacher Sally. There was only one teacher apparently who could handle him. But I couldn't accept another special needs child. So I kept him in a normal school because I wanted normal. And I wanted something to be normal in my life.
Yeah.
So that diagnosis I was given, I pulled it out.
Yes.
It had been mailed to me.
Yes.
I was like, okay, it's about time I do something about it. So I'd done the sacrifice of moving Andrew to a special school. I've not even touched on school issues, my friend, because I remember there is the one that I will never forget. May her soul rest in peace, the head teacher.
Yes.
And this is the sad reality about special needs parenting. Everyone is okay taking you in until the facts fall. Bring him, we can handle him, fine. I pay fees, I buy uniform.
Yes.
Term 1, I'm called. Me, I was celebrating. My child can go to... This one was even, he could potty tray. He could go to the toilet. It was a joy for me.
Wow,
no more diapers. At least
deal.
thank you. And now I'm being called, I tell you, I was given the report form.
Yeah.
I cried that night. Cannot. Like, what can he do if everything is he cannot? And this teacher has called me and said, we can't. But I told you he's a special child. You know?
Yeah.
I refused. I told him, I don't care. He's going to stay.
Yeah.
So one teacher embraced him and said, because I opened up to her, the class teacher, she said, don't worry, I will stay with him. Because what people forget is, by the time I move him, the stress of him adjusting, the cost that comes to it, you're barely doing your checks and balances, right? So I refused. He stayed there for a while. Then when I moved houses, I moved him. Now I was like, okay, if Brad can't, Andrew go to a special school. So I moved my son, my eldest, to a boarding, the second one to a private school, this one to a boarding.
Yeah.
So, but God is great. He comes through. And
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
So for Brad, that was the wake-up call. But I was like, okay, now I have to rearrange my life again. Because, you know, when you have a special needs child, They're the center of everything. Where I live, where my office is, what I do, the schedule of my day, that revolves around that child.
Yes.
Yeah. So I took Andrew to special school later after this day that I was just like, look at this giant in the middle of babies. Because that was where he was comfortable. Because when I forced him to stay in, when I took him there the first few terms, he was just refusing to go to school.
Yeah.
Because you see, when I went for the parents' meeting is when now it dawned on me.
Yes.
Because you're sat there, you're being told they should be able to say A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
They should be able to count. They should be able to write the 3-letter word. I'm like, not ask the parent next.
Yeah.
Which class is this we are starting?
Yeah. We must be in the wrong
I am in the wrong class. There is no way. Because you see, we had just started. He started talking at 3.
Yeah.
For him, he started talking at 3.
Yeah.
So when I tell him, this child is... So that's how life taught me that there is age-based learning and school-based and stage-based learning. So for autistic children, they learn per the stage of the brain development where they are at.
Yeah, so when you put them in a regular school, it's difficult because they are being expected to go the different
perform
program.
according now to the age they are at.
Yeah.
So now, of course, that is what now rearranged my whole life after that. So you remember, I have just bought uniform.
Yes.
I didn't Tuesday, I was actually looking for people to buy. You know, when you just stack things away, I realized, Kai, is a uniform zone. I just packed them, sent them to our children.
About this right now.
To our children's home.
Yeah.
Because, and they were brand new. Like, I have just invested, then like you have to turn.
Yes.
But like I said, they're like the center of your life. It's not easy.
Yes.
I cannot lie to any parent that it's going to get easier.
Yeah.
Okay, it can get easier.
Okay.
But the problem is it's you who has to be okay with it. The journey is the same. But you as a mom, you have to embrace that child and learn the hard way because they're all different.
Yeah.
Now we've gotten into teenage.
Okay.
Because, of course, life stabilized a bit.
Yes.
And Bradley, who has been on meds, because when now the seizures came, he's now been on meds. He had stabilized. We were to get him off meds.
Okay.
Last November, a boy I'm just called by the school. No, for us, we fear phone calls from school because the next question is, what happened? No, we don't pick hello. It is, what happened? So that was my phone call for today morning. That's why I'm frazzled.
Yes.
So that day I'm called, and it's just November, September, Tuesday.
Yeah.
And the seizures were so bad, he had slit his tongue.
Oh, dear.
And because he had fallen head first, because there is no warning. The challenge is there are people who know when the seizures are coming because you get an aura. But then special needs children who cannot actually make of what is going on.
Yes.
But I've realized from the past few months, he gets scared before it comes because it catches him as he's trying to run to someone to communicate.
Okay.
So within the past 3 months, dude has gotten a seizure when he's starting to go down the stairs all the way down. So you're starting to run for head scans. Yeah. Another time he felt it. He was running to his cousin.
Yes.
Fell head first again. So I'm just at that point of like, this is the same child. I missed a part.
Yeah.
What I learned is he has ADHD on top of autism. That's why these stories of epilepsy, Nini, just becomes a bit too much to add on to the concoction of what is going on.
Yeah.
There's a day because of lack of fear, he does not, fear is not
the not things aware he of danger.
Exactly. So dude runs to the road, he gets knocked by a car. I used to fear December. When people travel, I used to fear December.
Yes.
Because the first one, he fell from first floor.
Yes.
My friend, have you ever driven, as in someone started to drive you, I told him, stop. I had a nilimshika handbrake. I told him, you're not going fast enough. Get out of my car. Nikamtoto backseat. Because he was flat, no motion, no nothing. He just like took it. Because I had someone scream, I was with Andrew in my hands. This is a bit way back, I've just remembered. The things I'm just trying to erase out of my heart.
Yes.
So it was like that December time. He had already been burnt, alichomeka, recover the other December. So this December, I didn't have a nanny.
Okay.
So I was the one at home. I'd sent my son to the shop. Andrew was not feeling well, so I was just putting him to bed. So he went out looking for his brother. So you're listening.
Yeah.
So he wasn't talking. Then I just had boom. But I didn't know. Then I had a neighbor scream, "Whose child is that?" Oh, I dropped Andrew. I ran out. I found my son flat on the ground, blood coming out from here.
Oh my God.
I just knew he was dead. To me, he was dead.
Gone, yeah.
So she came down and I was like, I need my car keys. I couldn't trace them. Thank God my son came in. He knew where my car keys were.
Okay.
So this person, because I was shaking.
Yes.
I was just like, do I move him? Do I touch him? Is he broken? Is he what? And you know that guardian angels work.
Yeah.
There was where he fell from up.
Yeah.
This is the staircase which was dipping down.
Yes.
And then the ground.
Yes.
He didn't fall on the edge. He didn't fall on the cement.
Yeah.
He fell on ground.
So
On ground. And then there was stairs, like stairs. He just fell at the corner.
Missed the stairs.
So I just called the Kakan. I said, incoming,
Yeah.
fall from first floor. So at least I met the ambulance. That guy stood in the middle of the road. Because at that time you're shaking. I didn't have shoes.
Yes.
I can't even tell you how my son managed to remain with his brother.
Yes, because you just left.
I just left. And so that this child is God sent. Do you know, in the middle of a CT scan, boy wakes up and says, "Let's go home." And the doctors are looking at themselves like, is this the person who has this? And I've seen in life. Oh my God.
And you exhale, you're like,
are you serious? I was half dead. And then you're waking up.
He's like, what are we doing here? Can you just go home?
Thank God he did not have any head fractures. After that he was hit by a car. You know the way you come drop him from school? I was going back to the office. Then I'm seeing, when they say you meet people for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. This chick we met at an event. I didn't even know she was my neighbor. So I'm seeing her calling me. I'm just like, I've just entered. She's like, I'm seeing your son on the ground. There's a crowd. There's a car. Can you get back here now? I can't explain how I moved from my office to there, but that is how I moved out of that house.
Yeah.
And I said, whatever the cost, I am moving, and these are the terms of where I'm going to live. Yes. Just to illustrate the way your life just revolves around.
Every choice you make.
Every choice you make counts. And you're learning with every step. Like at that time, I was okay. I can afford it. I'm close to school. I'm close to hospital.
Yes.
I don't have to pay for transport. This one can walk. Then you're back to zero.
Yeah.
Do you know? Anyway,
my goodness.
God is gracious. ICUs nimezoea. Just be honest.
You had many visits.
Seizures come, they freak you out. Like 5 months ago now, I moved into an own compound. Neighbors, my friend, nimekuja kunokiwa, can they shut up? I'm like, this boy does not even understand. Some autistic characters are involuntary. He will be screaming because his body is overwhelmed.
Okay.
That's the only way to, whatever. The other day, the gardener comes, you need to pay for these bamboos. Your son has plucked them. He uses sticks for steaming. It's one of the characteristics of autism. I'm just like, I can't be everywhere.
Yes.
I can't afford to say that you have to have 2 nannies. My friend, even one is almost double your normal nanny rate. You know?
Yeah.
And something's got to give.
Yeah.
Our school fees is... I don't even want to go there.
Yeah.
We have therapy, we have medication. And with therapy, I have to do speech, I have to do OT.
Yeah.
My medication bill right now is $35,000 per month.
Yeah.
I take 2 medical covers, and within 3 to 4 months, it's over. But you just have to have it because you don't know when next you'll be stories of HDU.
Yeah.
Like Brad has, in the past 4 months, has been in HDU situations 3 times. Andrew was once, but he's become big now. Yeah. Because of the medicine, medicines have side effects. And they still have to take supplements because some of the medicine also corroses their bones.
So you have to replenish.
This day, Bradley runs to my room. Mommy, Andrew has fallen. I've had to teach Brad how to do first aid.
Okay.
So he knows when he has a seizure, he calls it falling. Because remember, he's also still learning to talk. Yes. He calls it, Mom, Andrew has fallen. He knows you bring this, you turn him. So I had a new nanny. Brad is the one who oriented.
Wow.
Because I had forgotten.
Wow, yes.
So he's the one who handled. But this day, I couldn't. It's a Sunday morning. I'm alone.
Yes.
With the two of them.
Yes.
No ambulance in sight.
Oh dear.
I can't carry him down the stairs. We are almost the same kilos. He's like 57.
Yes, yes.
Just 63. And he is strong. His strength is beyond.
So you can't lift him.
You can't lift him. And I had to wait.
Yeah.
Half an hour. He's getting in and out of seizures. I just knew if there is a day I need to be ready for death, it is this one. Because there is no way of getting him down. I can't put him on my back. There is a day I just placed him flat in the middle. Najole flat because he can't. He's just stiff. And then I was going down the stairs with my back flat. So nimemwekelea ni kama mimi ndio ambulance board. I put him at the back of my car. The back of my car. Then another seizure came. Akaanguka katikati ya viti.
Dear.
Early in the morning at like 7, there is that morning traffic. Mimi nimelearn defense driving. Became a must. And this is why I have to like live next to a hospital. So I'll put full lights if there is any parent who does not know. I had even to notify the chief that, I have this one. Just know. If I break laws, you have to know that we are in your hood. So you put on your full lights, put on your hazards. If it is extra emergency, drive hooting non-stop. You can imagine you have to do all those things. Someone is
watching your child.
So I stood in the middle of the road because I was at a junction. I just flung door the open. I couldn't lift him up. He's become so heavy. I couldn't put him back. So I just had to make sure because he had fallen head first. So I'm like, maybe he'll stop breathing. Nitakuwa nimemuua. There is that guilt that you're always walking with as a mother. So I just tried to turn. Thank God I always have a pillow in the back of the car. I placed the pillow so at least I know his airway is fine. I can't move his body because he's still in the middle of seizing. I figured Aga Khan. My car is branded, by the way. My car, so the dozens of they know. Because it's the only way. You have to be wise enough to make sure you safeguard the environment that you're in. Every house I move in, I put a poster at the door. Which talks about autism. And I told you I was a graphic designer. That I had to change my career.
To what?
Now I'm using the graphic design skills to raise awareness about autism. And that's how I ended up founding Andy Speaks for Special Needs Persons. Why Andy Speaks? Because of all the trauma and stigma that he went through and he could not even say. Because there's a day my son had, the way we change the heels of our whatever, I put it in my heels to be taken, to be fixed, and his shoe. Shoe man moved those things into his shoe. He walked a whole day with those heel replacements in it. So I was seeing he's limping. I'm checking his fine. I cried. I felt like I'm the one who did it.
Because of the pain he must have been feeling.
He doesn't know how to communicate pain. So I'm imagining how many more parents out there are going through this without knowing what they're handling. How many more kids are suffering in silence and they cannot talk about it. So that is what I do and live now.
And oh my gosh, how do you, because I see everything that you've done to take care of your children, take care of your boys. You've literally given your life to take care of your children. Who takes care of you? And where do you feel like you've drawn strength from on this journey? Because I feel like you've really navigated a lot by yourself for the most part. But who takes care of Sylvia? And are there things that you've had to do intentionally for yourself to, because I don't even understand how you've been able to stay sane and, alive. I don't know how you've done it, but what is that? What does that self-care look like? Or what is that for Sylvia?
You have to be very intentional. One thing I learned was, these are children, they will grow, they will leave me. Like I had experienced, the men will come, they can leave you whenever they feel like, they can even abandon their own children. But I cannot give from an empty cup. So I had to decide and list the things that I want to do for me. All right? So I opted, travel is one. I wrote down every quarter I gotta travel. Rain or shine, even if it was 10 bob per month, but I have to take time off. Investing in a good nanny and being honest. The nanny tales, but
it's a whole different
I can
chapter.
take a whole month praying about it until my soul is at rest with a nanny. And the minute my soul checks out, we are done. Because you see, the same way I burn out, they are also human. They can burn out. But burn out without harming my children.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes.
So I do a lot of that, and I allow myself to go through the motions.
Yeah.
Today morning, I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
My son hasn't slept for 4 days. Yesterday, I still had to go and stand in front of everyone and cameras and continue championing for the other children. Because we were launching, as I mentioned, I sit at the National Council Board for Persons with Disability to ensure that our voices are part of the conversation. So it was a big day for us. But I was just, at the back of my head, it's like, I hope he's okay, I hope he's okay. Today morning, it's like, you have to go to school because I gotta be. Because I gotta go, I have to do this. Because at least I was like, you need to sleep. So last night he had to sleep with me. Because I was tired of, he's in his room, he comes, he was walking, I'm like, my friend, we are not night runners.
We need to sleep.
We need to sleep. I have to sleep because the day still is awaiting. So like today morning, I just got a call, the dreaded call. Like, hell broke loose. This has never happened before. He had gotten violent. He was banging. He was throwing things down. And the worst thing you want to see is your child losing control. So I'm at that junction of, is it adolescence that he doesn't know how to navigate? Is he sick? Is he in pain? Last week, he was just walking like a flat, like walking to go to the school van. He fell. So when I called the doctor today, she's telling me that was an atonic seizure. I'm like, how many types of this fish is there? Like my friend, I've just finished getting used to this other one. So he has a burst lip, he's in a cast, and he's busy using his left hand to bang and do all these things. So I had to pick him up, go to the hospital. We don't know. Sometimes it's just trial. So we're trying to just pain manage because it could be pain and he can't go or whatever. He's been screaming the whole of yesterday. Not screaming at him, screaming, deafening. So I'm just like, my nanny better not go because I'm just barely a month. At least I thank God that Brad has become vocal. And he's become like now the carer for Andrew. He gets his own seizure. They freak him out. But at least I'm celebrating 2 months without a seizure. You know, on his side. Because I was just like, this just needs to, because, you know, every time you're running, you know, you're dropping everything and you're back on the move. And teenage is coming strong because he's knowing who he is. So he knows what he wants. But then you have to consider they're still autistics. Whatever you say might make or break. So I'm just like, oh my God. I'm still at that of, is circumcision necessary?
You're picking your battles.
I've procrastinated it now for like 2.5 years. But you know, I was looking at him and like, growing hair. How do you even have that conversation, you know? And then there is the other fear that I have about all the stories I hear about molestation. And do I tell my child that people are not good and that he's so social, he does not see the bad in people. But how do I caution him you know, you can use stories, but does he really get it? Because we'll still go out and he'll be like, my friend. Like, he's not your friend, you just met him.
No, that's a stranger.
You know. So like everyone is like, oh my God, he's so sweet. But then you're just like, his ADHD has gone down, which is now giving me sanity a bit. But I feel like with every stage, there's something new that's being thrown out. You know? So you're like, am I doing it right? Sometimes you just pray and follow your gut. Doctors will tell you things, but you have to be okay with it. Talk to other parents, you know. So in the journey, we've formed like a Facebook group, WhatsApp groups where we have, a community of, like now there are parents who've gone through this journey. And remember, the challenge with autism, as much as I've said the 2 boys have autism, they're 2 totally different individuals. Andrew is not social, my friend. No way. I will come here, scan the room. Who do I like? That's the only person I will either talk to or stick to mommy. He will look for a stick or any stick like to calm himself down into the new environment. Even in school, you can't force him because that's just who he is. He will be walking on the fence, against fire. He doesn't like, he's very claustrophobic. But it's who he is.
Yeah.
He will speak when he wants to.
Okay.
Teenage has also thrown us I am not talking. Not at the talking mood. Not talking.
Oh, completely.
Hi, Andrew. Come here. Look at you.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Yeah.
Go and stand in front of you. I'm like, you can talk. Just
Yes.
say something.
Yes.
Now the problem is, it's either borderline of teenage,
Yes.
or he's sick.
Yeah,
so you can't have peace of mind because you don't know which way it's going to sway.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So like today morning, I just went back and I was like, you know what? This doctor, no, you doctor,
Yes.
the corridor.
Yes.
Please sit here and look at his ears.
Yes.
Look at his what.
Yes.
And surprisingly, all this screaming he's been screaming, he has an ear infection.
So there's pain.
So we had to remove the cast again.
Yes.
Check. His hand was still swollen.
Oh dear.
So he was in so much pain from the fracture, and he can't
say that that's what it is.
And I think that's one of the greatest things. I'm just praying to God because he at least last year he learned the word hurting.
Okay.
So if I hear the prompt hurting,
Yeah.
the job is for me to figure out
Where
are we.
Yeah.
So you're just learning, trying to figure out how do you make him understand.
Yeah.
Like you need to show me so I have an idea of what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So like now I had to just make the tough decision, like give me meds, this boy gotta go down.
Yes.
He has to sleep.
Yes.
He has not slept for 4 days.
Yes.
He still wants routine, means he wants to go to school because why did he? Because they're almost like twins. So tough choices, tough decisions is just day-to-day story every day. And it doesn't end.
Yeah.
And I've come to terms with that.
Yeah.
I'll still continue allowing myself one day for crying because right now when he turned 13,
Yeah.
and then there are women we gave birth at the same time. They're celebrating KCPE results and going to secondary.
Yeah.
My son cannot write his name.
Yeah.
He cannot even hold a pen nicely. If I tell him color, he will just hold it and do ba 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 ba. Mommy, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I celebrate that he can actually do that small,
You know how far he's come.
Yes, but it doesn't take away my human desire
Absolutely.
for my child to be where his peers are.
Yes.
As much as we say acceptance, you can only accept so much. Our wishes and dreams are still there.
Yeah.
I still wake up and I am like, maybe today he will come and read.
Yes.
The surprise he threw at us in 2022, we were packed.
Yeah.
I've remembered something.
Tell us.
I'll tell you that later.
Yeah.
We were packed somewhere and he says, police. And I'm like, I can't see no policeman.
Yeah.
Because he's a visual learner.
Yes.
Do you know what? He can read the word police.
Oh.
I'm like, wait. Wait. What did you say? He's like, police.
Yes.
Where? He's like, police. I'm like, how did you?
Oh, my
He
goodness.
read, but
Yes.
he's very selective. So I'm trying to learn
Yeah.
how to teach him.
Yes. Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes,
I'm
get
so
it.
curious how he learnt that word. He knows the word. He can read bank.
Yes.
He can read police.
Uh-huh.
He can tell any form of money. My friend,
Yeah.
my child has opted his currency. Even if I put Kenya shillings, he's like, dollars.
I love it. I'm here for it.
I'm like, hallelujah,
He's winning.
Jesus. Dollars is our currency. He was having homework for learning money. I tell you, niliweka 50 bob photo, 50 bob itself. All it is like, Mom, dollars. So I had to pick up like, Daddy, this is dollars.
Like, no, I see dollars. I don't know about you.
He sees the word visa anywhere. He'll tell you, Mommy, money.
Yeah.
So it's for you to figure out where. And he can see details.
He'll be a wealthy boy, this
So you're
one.
driving and you just hear money. It's your work to figure out
Where the money is.
where the money is. So
Yeah.
I've realized anything visual, he can name for you all the TV stations because he's very specific.
Yeah.
And the other thing I still don't understand, and these are some of the superpowers autistic persons have. Andrew, this used to happen, like he'll say news, you look, it is 6 o'clock. Like, did you know that? You know?
So he connects.
We'll be like, no, he can't read time.
Yeah.
There is no clock, but he will tell you news.
And it's when
and
you
it is
actually know the
o'clock,
exact
like
time.
it's 4 o'clock, what o'clock, like
That's
that.
amazing.
You know?
Yeah.
But these days he's very specific. Mom, Citizen news. I think Citizen needs to pay me, by the way. The drama I go through. No, the drama I go through if you don't put Citizen.
Really?
And he's very specific.
Wow.
Babu.
Yeah.
So I need to find Swalem Doe.
Swale, this message is for you.
Because so before we understood what he means by Babu, and he will cry and bring the house down because he wants Babu. And I'm like, the first days I'll be like, I can't drive you all the way to your grandfather. Kumbe, he's talking about Swale. And I'm just like, where? And Juicy were in the supermarket. Boy goes to the newspaper section. I'm like, you're kidding. Yes. He brings him. He's like, Mom, news. I'm like, maybe I see watching the news. Oh my God. But I love it. There is something he's passionate about. Yes. And it's news.
Yes.
And
news,
he
money.
Will sit, news, money,
through.
banks,
Yes. Yes.
And he will sit and watch news. As in, if you find him sat, and the times when I'm like, let's do your homework. No want. I'm like, but you will sit and watch news.
It's always time and
like,
energy.
Are you even understanding what is going on? Then now funny. For Brad, Brad is a genius with gadgets.
Yeah.
Sadly, I still can't figure out how to get it out because of his ADHD affects his concentration. But the funny thing is, we were in course with a friend of mine who's visually impaired. Now she's a magistrate. I celebrate her. Zena, this one is for you.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, because I told you he clings. So he clung to Zena and it is her. So now Zena cannot see, of course, and this boy has stuck to. So I was like, okay, you go with her. Because I had some things to do. I was like, okay, go. My son took Zena's phone. Opened it, found YouTube, found YouTube Kids, and started watching. Did Zena even know she has those things on her phone? Mimi, there's a day she told me to open something. An adult who is in tech, could not open that phone. Even the day we were like together and she was like, I need to order something. I couldn't figure it out. But this, my son,
could do it.
Who was just learning to talk, opened, went to YouTube, went to even YouTube Kids, which was not even existing. So I don't even know if he downloaded it or what. But every day is a surprise. So I celebrate the milestones that come. When I need to cry, I will still cry. When I feel broken because I wish I could be somewhere and I can't, I will do that. Of course, we never get to go to so many parties because it's the weird kids. And
everyone can handle.
And not everyone can handle. But sometimes, you know what? Just have us. Just, even if you invite me, I don't come. Just that invite me. You know? So that they know it's there. Then they can appreciate these social gatherings. You know, they can appreciate being with people and they can learn. Because, you know, some of these social stories we tell is just a story. But if they're in that space and I tell him, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. It is easier. You know? And let me censor that one.
You will tell me.
I will tell you that on the side. But you see, like now they're in that age, like you're 13-year-old by chrono, but your mental age is like 4. So you can imagine this 13-year-old is learning things now that me, by the way, I met a child who's 3 talking. I felt like it was weird because it's not my world.
It's not
It's not what, it's. I'm just like, you're joking. He's talking. I'm like, this one can't talk. And they're busy navigating things. So for us also as parents, we are dealing with so much more than what you can see. So if you're a friend and I can't show up for you, because I've had enough of this, that if I don't call you, you have no idea what I'm dealing with. It's not always that I'll come out and tell you, you know. I want to also sound like a broken record. Because people will sometimes expect that by now you should be getting used to it. There's nothing to get used to. Every day is a new curveball. I was telling someone I feel like I have newborn babies in my house. Because teenage is coming with things I have no idea. I've tried talking to those who've been there before. But in autism, every child is different. There is no 2 kids who are the same. Their abilities, disabilities are totally different. So I'm just navigating. So for my friends, if I've gone quiet, I'm sorry. But it is my life. Many are assuming, I got married 1 year now.
Congratulations.
I finally found someone who can take all this
that is amazing.
and more. And I usually thank God.
Yes.
I took 4 years, even in that, for other parents.
Okay.
Don't write yourself off because the world will write you off. People I used to tell that I will still get married, thought I was just bluffing.
Yeah.
And the problem is sometimes we can give ourselves so much pressure and end up being in the wrong relationship.
Correct.
True testament. Mpaka nikakuwa GBV. That was the wake-up call, like, I don't have to be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship.
Yes.
So because you stand and you're like, me and all my accomplishments, unakuja kuinulia nani mkono.
Oh, wow.
You know.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't see it because you're just longing for an adult in your life.
Accepted. Yeah.
You know. But the good thing is it teaches you how to judge, because Andrew had rejected the person, but me, I did not see it. He's a very good character judgment person. He's the SI unit. So like my husband now, when Andrew came and took him by the hand and brought him to me, I was like, thank you, Jesus. I have had you. Hallelujah.
I hear you loud and clear. Let's get married already.
It was my signature.
Special,
and the next day, because you know when you start, I'm like, okay, now I can date, and then after a while I'm like, okay, you need to meet this kids, because you know it's not about me and you anymore.
Yeah.
It's about me, you, and this package.
Yes.
A teenager.
Yes.
2 special needs kids.
Yes.
I kept telling, actually I rejected this person for 4 years.
Wow.
Because I had to work on me first.
Okay.
I had to figure my kids. They had to be stable.
Yes.
I needed to be in that mental space you were asking about. Because I was getting angry very fast because I was burning out, balancing all these things and just trying to make everything work.
Yes.
And sometimes you need to acknowledge when you cannot do it and saying no. Because I was a yes sayer. Sometimes you just say yes because so that I can be part of this.
Yeah.
But we need to let go of that. Be authentic with your yeses and your nos, and be very selfish. You don't have to do things just to please anyone. Do it because you want to do it.
Yes.
Especially as a mother. Let people brand you. Let people say you're a snob. But you know what you're doing.
What's right for you.
And you know what's right for you, for your child, for your own peace and space. So Mr. B came.
Mr. B.
Yes. So yes. All the way from West Africa.
Okay.
So me, I'm a Niger wife.
You left us.
I left. Kenya, they couldn't. I tried, tested, and I gave up.
Okay, thank you God for West Africa.
Thank you. And I'm just like, sometimes you never know where someone will come from.
Yeah.
This person was okay with being friends, and that patience that he had and that persistence brought out our character. Because if you're patient with me, a grown adult, you know, persistently saying no.
Yes.
And you have been watching my journey.
Yes.
Because I was already public, you know, talking about autism.
Yeah.
And you still want to be there. Because that was the one question I used to ask every day. Like, are you sure you can handle this? It comes like this, it comes like this. Then the day we had the worst meltdown. Meltdowns are what people call tantrums, but for autistics is not tantrums. It's just that they're having a hard time and they cannot communicate.
Okay.
So this day, a whole week, screaming morning to evening.
A whole week.
A whole week.
Oh my God.
We just did not know. By the time we were finding out, he had pneumonia.
Oh.
And it had already done up like a good chunk of his lungs. So, and he, of course, his throat was hurting. So the screaming was soothing.
Oh, it was soothing, not making it worse?
No, I'm screaming. So I can't feel, you know that ENT pain? So that if you do, it feels better. Akamwambia my friend, nilikuwa na maji ya, what do we call it? Maji ya baraka. Nilimweka kwa bathtub. You know, because you need something to work.
Yes.
I'd taken him to hospital. He had been injected maximum dosage of an adult.
Yeah.
And this boy was walking. And they can't keep him in hospital.
Yes.
Because unless it is isolation.
Yes.
Or something like that. Because he's not going down. I watched my son. And we're talking just 1 year ago.
Yeah.
He's so strong. Amefungwa like a mummy.
Oh my goodness.
Just for them to get a vein to put the dawa. You know? And he had cramped even after that. You know, the doctor came like, there is nothing I can do. This boy is supposed to be in ICU.
Yeah.
Isotonic because of the amount of medication we have given. So wewe bebana na mtoto wako uende nyumbani.
Oh my.
You know, and thank God he was there that time.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, I can't do this, you go try. he's calm for a few minutes, and I told him, you can still call off the wedding, right?
So at this point, you were engaged?
Yeah, at this point, we had engaged. So I was just like, you know what, we don't have to do this. You can walk out now.
Wow.
Because this is it.
Yeah.
This is what it is. And that gives you a chance for you to see the true character of a person.
Yeah.
Because if it was living, you would have walked like any other person.
Yeah.
So, but we got over it. We got married.
A special person.
Yes,
he is. A special human being. Yeah.
He is.
I think your husband is just a special man. He is, honestly. Just that, pursuing you, knowing exactly what he's walking into, and accepting the situation and standing by you. And even to hear you bring out, because there are many, many relationships that break apart because when you have a child with a challenge, it's not easy for people to navigate that.
No.
It's the same as loss. There are couples who don't make it past loss, losing a child. Those are such difficult things to navigate. But listening to you, Sylvia, there's so many things that have popped up for me, and having had a conversation with a different mother who was sharing with us about her daughter who has CP, there are certain threads that I hear that are common with mothers who are parenting children with special needs. One of them just being that you mentioned with our healthcare, no one explaining to you what's going on. At that point where you are like, I don't know what this is, but you're not being given answers, and you're being told you need to do this, you need to go for assessment, and you're like, for what? Why?
What? Why? Where?
Why? Where? And I feel like it also adds to that denial because you don't have answers. No one is putting it in black and white for you to start accepting it sooner. I wish that was different. I wish that as soon as there's a red flag for something, a specialist can tell you, I think there's a possibility of this. We want to look into it and just break it down for you very properly because, you're a new mom. You're being told all these big terms. What are those? What do you mean? What are those? Even when you're telling me autism, what do you mean?
What do you mean? Yes.
I also, listening to you also hear when you talk about just being, I love that you've spoken to people, to your community and to people around you, and you said, invite us even if we cannot come. Because I think that in situations where we don't understand the situation, we think, it's better if I just leave Sylvia out. Wacha nisimsumbue. Or maybe we are afraid of being uncomfortable. And I think that the reason why we're having this conversation is just we need to normalize this because, number one, Sylvia nor her boys, none of them chose to have this challenge. So I think it's upon the community also to rally around you as a mom and to see how can we make it easier for you, Sylvia. Okay, you're going to come to my house. What can I do to enable that we don't overstimulate your children? How can we make it comfortable for you? I think those are the questions to ask. Yeah. That's how we hold space for each other. Not how uncomfortable you'll make me, but how comfortable I can make you and your children. I'd love to hear, and one time I told you that I'd want to just have a conversation between you and maybe two other moms and just hear even things like travel. How do you travel when you have... She laughs.
You think about it, you cancel. You think about it again. You plan the planning time.
Then you unplan.
You realize this is missing. My friends, going for my wedding, it was in Lagos.
Yes.
Where? There is no airline. I didn't call for accommodation.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Because you're trying to picture yourself. And my nanny dumped me after I paid for that flight. As in, she came back and left after
she came to Lagos her passport, and then left.
Gave her everything. Anyway, one day I'll forgive. But
I really saw on your behalf.
Thank you. No, that was a very great investment.
Of course it is, yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate the work she had done. Yeah. Sometimes it's easy as humans to talk because some mataraus are just not necessary.
Yes.
It is just uncalled for. You're still a mother. your children are still going to be mothers. And karma is a bee, you know. You don't know how it will. And you know, the other thing I always say when we're doing advocacy, disability is a club open to anyone. We can be seated with someone here. Next day they tell you, I got hit by a car, I'm on a wheelchair from now henceforth. We've had those stories. They're there. Or you get trauma, head trauma, you're an epileptic. Yet maybe you denied a job to someone because they are epileptic and stuff like that. But travel, not many people are accommodative. Because that was a very long 5 hour. There is this time I had to do trials. I had to go to Mombasa first.
And try and try. How it looks.
Do you know my son undressed at the waiting?
You're like, oh my gosh.
Where? The things I have seen. Like, boy had a meltdown. We were in 2 different flights. They refused to merge us. So I was going on KQ, and then they had to go with Jumbo Jet, and I'm like, no, can I take this one? So he's not understanding. First, waiting. That concept can work for a period of time. So I can see there's a plane. You're telling me, Mommy said we're going on an aeroplane. But you're holding me. I cannot.
What do you mean I can't?
Well, my friend, my son alipiga nduru.
Poor child.
One by one. Even today morning, the hospital. Yesterday I got home in the evening because we were not understanding. My nanny is like, Aki ameoga mara mbili. Remember, she's a nani. Amepiga kelele. Amepeleka nje. Amevunja him. You know, I'm used to. You break. It is things we can replace. I go home. I'm just so tired. I just see someone walk down. Naked. So if you're coming to our house,
be warned. Beware.
So, because I don't know if he's having a fever and he doesn't know how to say it. So even his brother, when the dad called, he's like, Daddy, Andrew is naked. I tell you.
Anyway, it is. I'd love to talk about those things and just how, to be able to even challenge our airlines, challenge, people in different spaces to make it easier. I remember one time, about maybe 2 years ago, I was watching a show. There's a show one of my best friends really loves on YouTube. This family, Salama and who?
Oh, yes.
And they have
I know. The guys for Dubai.
Yes.
One of them is on the spectrum. Dubai is so ahead, my God.
Yeah. So I remember one time they were traveling, I don't know to where, on a holiday, and just how seamless the process was. They simply let the airline and the airport know this is when we're traveling.
The PNA code.
That one. And it works. It was just so seamless. And I wondered, does it work as efficient? I guess not. By the look on your face.
My friend, I was asked to go for a letter. I'm like, what does a medical letter have to do with my son traveling? And I'm asking you to be accommodative. You're asking me to bring you a letter. It's not an illness, it's not contagious, and that's one thing people need to understand. I just need you to make sure we are together. I need you to have meals according to what he can handle. I need you to have, you see the way E.T., I saw E.T. has toys that are very, very nice, actually. I was like, I should flew E.T. So, but just small accommodations, not adding more burden to me as a parent, you're just letting you know so that if this happens, allow me to be in a place where we can walk, those small accommodations.
Allow us to board first, allow us to, it's small adjustments. So you're going to have to come back, Sylvia. You're going to have to come back. I know you're busy, but you will make time for me. And I thank you for I feel like you've encouraged so many parents who are, and it might not even be autism. It could be something completely different. That's a challenge. But just hearing the strength in your story and the strength in your journey. And we were saying when we were just off camera, I was saying that we all have we've been given different grace according to the journey that we have. That even when it feels like it's too much, you still have the strength to keep going. And so I celebrate the strength that you have, even in the moments that you have felt that you didn't have it. Even this morning when you said this is too much, you are still here. And as a mom, I see you. I celebrate you. As a mom, I want to extend love to you and to your children, to your community, that you're welcome here. You have a seat at my table. I will call you when there's something that, you can come forward with your boys. But thank you for helping me and to helping us to normalize and to hold space for each other. Thank you for Andy Speaks. And maybe as we finish, someone can say, okay, how can I be a part of this community? Maybe you can quickly tell us, someone who's listening wants to join Andy Speaks. What does that look like?
Okay, so I started Andy Speaks January 1st, 2019.
Yeah.
And I started it because God put it in me.
Yeah.
And that's a different story about Andy Speaks is a whole journey on its own. But generally, I'm running different programs to try and change the narratives.
Yes.
One, that is awareness and advocacy.
Yes.
I want government to take up responsibility. I want us to have equity,
yes.
not equality. We're not asking for equality. My child is not equal to yours and will never be equal to yours. Let's call a spade a spade.
Correct.
But I need accommodations to be made to meet his needs. And that is what exactly equity is.
Yes.
So we run 5 programs.
Yes.
We have the Ride for Autism Awareness every April, which is coming up, and we are seeking support.
Okay.
Anyone, if you go to our website,
Yes.
that is www.andyspeaks for specialneedspersons.org, or even andyspeaks4 snp.org. It will still direct you there.
Yeah.
You can see all the programs that we're running. So we raise funds to do all the advocacy through the year, but we raise funds to set up therapy centers. And we're changing the narrative because I have experienced it. You want to do it your way because you think of that. That's what school told you.
Yes.
I'm telling you here in Africa, what will work for me so that I can continue working is put up that therapy center in schools.
Yes.
So I focus on work. I don't have to go pick my child from school, go to this therapy 2, and I'm still paying fee. And the government is still expecting me to pay for a support teacher, and all this other, I still pay for meds.
Yes.
Our list is long enough,
Yeah.
make it easier.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you can meet us halfway.
Yeah.
So I'm running that program. So far, we have built 4 therapy centers. We've done one in Kasarani Primary, Dagoretti Special School.
Oh, wow.
And we've done in Kilifi, Mnarani.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done 4 rides. This is our 5th ride.
Yes.
The first one didn't kick off. We didn't raise enough funds, but we learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
And then we have the Neuro Digest, which does the advocacy. So we have a podcast. So any mom who wants to share mom-to-mom conversations is always welcome. And we do town halls just to hear what can change. And that is what has advised, like the document that we were launching yesterday at the National Council, just all these experiences and challenges that we're having.
Yeah.
So now there is a formal document by government of this is the state of autism in Kenya, because that was a blur. So we are moving, we are getting somewhere.
Yes.
We have the Special Needs Resource Hub. Remember when we were talking about information and what is therapy, where is therapy? So basically, I took 4 years, the past 4 years, I've been gathering information about parenting in autism.
Yes.
And I've packaged it into one web portal called specialneedsresourcehub.org.
Yeah.
So there you will find the list of school, list of doctors, hospitals, what is assessment, the different types of assessment. If it's a child with Down syndrome, what do I need to look out for? What are the early interventions I need to do to check the areas that are very delicate? If it is autism, it's the biggest of the chunk of what I've focused on, because that's what I know best.
Correct.
Parenting, how to toilet train, how to navigate teenage, all those resources we have put in there for you. We have a training, like we were training policemen on how to handle autistic kids, how to identify them and how to support them. Yeah. So those ones are things that if you know you're an organization, you'd like to make a change in the justice system, we're looking for funding. We've done all this out of pocket and supported by the people who give through either Mchanga, through our GoFundMe, or PayPal. Yes. And people who just, when we're having events, just donate in kind, etc.
Yes.
And then the therapy centers, and we give equipment to autism schools. Because remember, our children learn differently.
Yes.
So we've done 4 schools. So we've done 4 schools and 3 therapy centers. This year, we're setting up a therapy center that children can come to when they're not in school, and also the children who are not in school can also attend. It will also serve as a, can I call it a transit place for people who are learning in school, need a place for internship and support, and then you have to give back to community by going to serve the centers we have done. So it will be part of it.
That's fantastic.
So we are currently doing a call for people who are, because we want to have enough. One thing we're lacking in the country is the number of therapists who can serve the population.
Correct.
Yeah? So what we're trying to do is we will have the equipment, you have the skill, bring the children, come, if you have a client, come. We want you to use the right tools.
Yes.
Because autism centers are not there.
Yeah.
So it is one of the first few, yes.
Yeah.
So, and not just, because it's more of the sensory for our children, the sensory side of it is what is the gap.
Yes.
So we're setting up one to ensure that sensory is taken care of.
Yes.
As much as children with CP will be welcome, because we shall have provision for that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you find comorbid conditions of autism we have, like cerebral palsy, even Down syndrome and autism, they coexist. ADHD children now will have a place to come and actually be sorted. Yeah. So that is our project for this year. We're still calling for donations and support towards that.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping guys will heed the call so that we're able to just make this life easier.
Yeah.
For me, why I do this, I know the pain I went through. I know the struggles of trying to figure this thing out.
Yes.
So I want the journey to be easier for the next person.
Yes.
So we are putting up posters. If you walk into a police station, you see Andy Speaks, you see invisible disabilities, we are happy you will learn.
Yeah.
If you go to a hospital, if there are hospitals out there that want to join in the journey of raising awareness, because if I'm pregnant and I'm aware, and I know these are the signs and symptoms to look for, I'll be alert. Early intervention, my child can have a better life.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, I think it's so brilliant what you're doing, and it's such, I see the vision, and I pray that the right people rally around you and the resources that you need. And thank you for saying that what you've gone through, another mom doesn't have to go through. It's all about making the journey easier for whoever is coming after us, and for the children who have to deal with all of these challenges that come. Sylvia, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for sharing your heart.
Thank you for allowing me to be authentic and just to call it as it is.
Yeah. And for my Being Kambua family, thank you for being with us. Thank you for listening. As I told you, the conversations, these are not the ones you do as you're doing something else. They're the ones you actually sit and take it in. And then that way it challenges you, and you're able to see the gaps and see what you can do, because there's something that each and every one of us can do. If you're a mother who is mothering a special child or special children, I hope that something on this show has spoken to you, that first you feel seen, you feel less alone. You see that there are ways that you can get a community around you. Don't walk the journey alone. And here on Being Kambua, I love to get your feedback. I love to hear there's something that Sylvia said that has given me life, that has given me a reason to get up in the morning. I want to know what that thing is. So drop it on the comments. Drop love for her, whatever encouragement you want to send her way. Rally around her cause. Andy Speaks in April. You said April what?
Yes, 2nd April, World Autism Awareness Day.
Yes.
We are riding to Garissa. We are going to serve the people in Garissa. So we're doing, a team is leaving Nairobi to Garissa.
Yes.
Another team is leaving Garissa, Kilifi to Garissa. So we also appreciate the cyclists who will be making this sacrifice to just raise awareness.
Yes. So
we'll be taking donations. So
and
anyone
taking
can
donations.
come.
So you can say, I'm not able to cycle, I don't want to cycle, but you can still donate to the cause. Okay, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to catching up with you again next week, and with a completely different story from a completely different person, different experiences, but all on the journey of motherhood. Have a great week, and God bless you.
I called the nurse.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is the baby breathing like this? And she was like, even me, I don't know why is. And she's also asking me, so why is the baby breathing like this?
The baby was struggling to breathe.
Yeah, the baby was struggling to breathe. She's like, I don't know why the baby is breathing like this, and the doctors are not around. It was at night. Kambua, I would look at that baby, I think she was going, and I would tell God, You know those ones you can't pray?
Yeah.
I would just tell God, Those were my prayers that time. I would tell God,